All right, you guys, well, I got a special one for you today. This is a 1990 Suzuki Jimny. We'll take you around this truck, show you what it's all about. So just very unique styling, obviously. This is a Japanese import, so it is left-hand drive. Very crazy vehicle, crazy to drive. It fits into the Japanese K-car classification, but it's also an off-roader. Just very unique concept. It's finished in this bright lime green color. You got these wheel arches, big off-road tires, and you also get little manual locking hubs if you want to lock the car manually in four-wheel drive. Pretty interesting, pretty old school off-road feature right there. Keep going on the back here, got your exposed gas tank cover. And these crazy taillights that are just fitted into the rear bumper. This is the key for it also. Very interesting key, like 4 sides to it. I like it. It looks cool. So to open the trunk, you just put the key in here and then it opens with this little handle, opens sideways, has a little hydraulic to keep it in place right there. And you get a nice little cargo area back here. I mean, you get this little seat back here, not very big, but it's at least they give you it. You get these little vent windows right here. You get a little ashtray back here. And yeah, it's very unique looking back here. I really like it a lot. I'm probably not going to try to get back here because it is really tiny. Also, it's pretty hard to get in. Like, the floor is really high up, so I don't think I'm going to attempt to get back here today. For now, we'll close up the trunk. First, I want to show you guys under the hood though. So we'll unlock it here. And the hood latch is located in the glove box, which is pretty interesting right in here. All right, pretty simple hood opening. Does use a hood prop, obviously no fancy hydraulic strut thing, but very interesting engine under here. It is a 657cc turbocharged 3-cylinder. It says 660 on the engine cover, but technically it's 657. So think of this as like a 0.6 liter engine, only 3 cylinders. It makes a whopping 54 horsepower and 63 pound-feet of torque. Pretty crazy to hear those numbers, especially in North America. We're used to big, powerful vehicles, so the 54 horsepower is just a crazy number to hear. But it is turbocharged and intercooled, which does help it, give it a little bit of boost on the road. It's not outright dog slow. So, and it's a pretty tiny, lightweight vehicle. You also get your jack in here. I should mention this is the JA11 Jimny. So this vehicle had its first generation in 1970. This generation came out in 1981, but they made all different sorts of variants of it over the years. All different sorts of engines, transmissions. They had a convertible version, a panoramic roof version, and this is just the hardtop version, as you can see. But the name of this one is the JA11. It came out in 1990, the year of this vehicle. It added that 657cc engine. Some of the engines from before were actually a little bit less powerful. They did also sell the Suzuki Samurai in North America around this time. It was slightly bigger than this, had a bigger engine in it, more designed for like North America, but this is like the coolest version, I think. The Japanese imported version, just an amazing vehicle to see in real life. You can look underneath the car, see all the suspension architecture. It's just all right there. Also, if you look under the hood, you can also see the steering box, the steering rack. It goes right in here. And this does have recirculating ball steering, which is kind of like a more durable off-road type of steering. Most cars use rack and pinion, but this one uses the recirculating ball steering. Pretty interesting. But I think we went over all we could underneath here. We'll close up this hood. All right, that is shut. All right, and very tiny interior. Almost looks like a toy car. honestly, just looking at this in person. Looks like one of those cars you give like a little kid as a present or something. So it's pretty interesting, but we'll hop in here. It's a very tight squeeze, not like terrible, but this is as far back as the seat goes, and the pedals are kind of like right here. I have to really lift my leg up to press the clutch or the brake. But let's give it a start here. So put the clutch in and put it in neutral. You do have to briefly turn on the accessories, and then starts right up. Your turn signals are actually on the right side of the wheel, which is very hard to get used to. If you want to turn left, you're so used to pushing the stalk down, but if you want to go left, you have to push it up. So everything's opposite. You got this interesting little notepad here kind of thing, like instructions, talks about the four-wheel drive system. You do get 2 high and 4 high. You also get 4 low in here. It does have an aftermarket radio, old school climate controls in here. Doesn't have working AC. Very old car. The steering wheel blocks the gauge cluster a little bit, but you do get a tachometer, which is nice to have. Your engine temperature, fuel level, speedometer, which also doesn't work, unfortunately, and it is in kilometers per hour. You do got your little hazard light switch. Pull this hazard light switch up to turn it on. Pretty interesting. This cool Jimny steering wheel, like a wood finish on it. Your wiper controls, headlight controls, fog light controls right here. Activates the little yellow lights in the front bumper. You do got your shifter. It has a 5-speed manual. And the shifter is like somewhat notchy, pretty easy, but also a little bit vague. When I go to third, it's a little bit hard to find third. It's not quite where you'd think it is. It's a little bit slightly over from neutral. Fourth, you got your 5th gear and also your reverse, but there's no real lockout for reverse. But I think we will take this Suzuki Jimny out on the road, and we'll talk about how it drives here. I do have to kind of leave the windows down because we have no working AC, but hopefully it doesn't interfere too much with the video. But all right, I think we're ready to set off. We'll just put it in first here. It's a pretty forgiving clutch, to be honest. Put it in second. Fairly short gearing. It's really good over this gravel surface. Better than some brand new cars I've driven. But all right, I think we'll just roll in second here and get moving. You hear that blow-off valve from the turbo. All right, now we're just in 5th. Very strange driving a left-hand drive vehicle. Not quite as strange as you might expect, but still a little weird. Engine sounds crazy. Sounds like the little 3-cylinder engine that it is. The blow-off noise in here is just crazy. I find myself starting off in second. First gear is like a very short gear. Usually like start off in second gear. But yeah, it's a very forgiving manual transmission. The car kind of sways a little bit. The steering is quite imprecise. but it's such a little car at the same time. So you don't mind if it's just a little bit imprecise on the road. It doesn't really matter. And that turbo helps it get up to speed. It's a little slow moving at first, but the turbo definitely helps it. Alright, we'll get out on the road here. Alright, not very fast. But it gets there eventually. Roll the windows down a little bit more here. Nice car to kind of stick your arm out the window. It's a pretty responsive throttle. Clutch is nice and forgiving, as I said. Catch point is a little bit high up in the clutch. It doesn't really start to catch until you're almost off it. But it is very forgiving. It's a pretty light clutch. The hood vent rattles a little bit. It just has like a little loose screw there, but not a big deal. Steering is quite wobbly when I let go of it. I can always feel a little wobble in there. But it's still like a fairly easy vehicle to control despite that. Like I said, it's just such a small little car. It's kind of fun to play around with it a little bit. I mean, there is definitely some body roll in here, but it's still like a nice little car to drive. It doesn't brake super well, but you know, it's decent for a car of this age. Brake pedal is pretty light, pretty linear, nothing weird about them. Maybe a slightly longer stopping distance than you would be used to. You know, it's a fun little car. It's not the greatest handler, but it is a fun little tiny machine here. I kind of keep checking that mirror, the passenger mirror, because you're not paying close attention. You do kind of get close to the center line if you're not used to left-hand drive, which I'm not, so I kind of keep an eye on that mirror to make sure I don't cross over. It's not like dog slow. Some of these old cars are just like really like crazy slow, but this one has a nice pep to it. A nice little zip to it when you get into the right range. It shows a little turbo indicator when the turbo is active, right there. So it kind of, if I go on throttle, it'll bring up that indicator and go off when I'm off the throttle. So pretty interesting. Fun little like go-kart. Steering is like chunky, kind of go-karty to it, like not very precise, but has that like go-kart toy feeling about it. We'll pull in here just so we can get a clearer road in front of us. Check out our turning radius here. And as you can see, pretty good. A lot of range of motion in the tires. All right, and we'll just get back out on the road here. Does around corners. I think I'm cooler in this than in any Jeep or any Bronco. I think this wins, hands down. Taking around these corners, I'm not going crazy, but it is pretty, you know, like you would expect, not like crazy put together or crazy flat in the corners like a new car is, but still like crazy interesting to drive. These crazy turn signals, I'm used to them now, but they're really weird at first. I think everybody kind of wonders what this car is. Nobody really knows what it is, it seems like, which obviously can't really blame them. It's a rare car. Some people just don't care, like that guy. Alright, and we'll try taking this thing on the highway up here. not go very fast, and it is very loud, but it handles okay. The RPMs are at like 4,500. I'm probably going like 65, 70. People seem pretty understanding that it's a slower vehicle. It stops okay. I mean, it's not bad when stopping. Alright, you guys. Well, I think that about sums up my review on this 1990 Suzuki Jimny. Just a crazy, crazy car. Shifter is a little strange. It's a little hard to find the gears at times. We'll just park it right here. All right. And yeah, we'll give it a, yeah, we'll shut it off here. All right. Yeah, pretty crazy car. I like this little gauge cluster, though it's pretty much useless. The steering wheel blocks it a ton. I just like the old character it has. It's pretty peppy despite having a 54 horsepower 3-cylinder. It's pretty peppy. I mean, not lightning quick, but the turbo definitely like boosts it up to speed nicely. Steering is pretty heavy, mechanical, pretty wobbly all over the place, but you know, this car is so little, it's kind of fun to toss it around a little bit on the road. But yeah, I think we will hop out here. We'll roll our window up and give it a little lock here. All right, thanks for watching, everyone.